Hi everyone, this is Anthony Diezzo from Thorndon Park Produce. I'm a bunchline leafy veg and herb grower, and I'm here with a very special guest, Jill Briggs from Affectus. Jill, how are you today?
I'm great. I'm great. Bit hot, but great.
It is a little bit warm, so for
It
those
is.
those listening, if you're not, listening right away or watching right away, it's currently 44 degrees where I'm at. Jill, what's the temperature where you're at?
Yep. 43 and a half.
43 and a half. I got you beat by half a
You
degree, so
have. You have. We'll get there though.
I'm sure you will. So what are we doing here? Normally, when I do a video and I put it on LinkedIn, I'm out in the garden,
Mm.
trying to be funny and then recording something serious and hoping somebody watches it and gets something out of it. So obviously, I'm not in the field today. I'm in the office that I hardly occupy, and I'm here on Zoom talking to you. And we're talking about the Growing Leaders Program, which is a program that you run.
Mm.
And it's a leadership program for the vegetable and what
Onions.
onions, that's right, vegetable and onion
Yeah.
industry.
Yeah.
And it's a great program. I participated in 2018 and had a great time. It went on a bit of a break up until last year, 2025, and is back in 2026. So it must have been well reviewed last year. Otherwise, we wouldn't
Yeah.
be having this conversation. So I think it's a top-notch leadership program for anyone to be a part of, but especially growers like myself, family business, multi-generational, and somebody who wants to get out of their comfort zone, out of their four walls of the shed or the field, and experience leadership from another point of view. So I got a lot out of it, but I'm not here to, just talk about myself. I think I call you the boss of growing leaders. I think the big boss of growing leaders will probably be the best person to discuss what this program is about and why you should consider doing it.
Mm. Sure. So Anthony, first of all, thanks for changing your format, getting out of the paddock and getting back into the office. And great idea to have a bit of a chinwag about growing leaders. So, as you said, it ran for 9 years and then there was a hiatus for 4 or 5 years. And then we got back on deck and COVID happened in the middle of that and all that sort of stuff. But the format that we got over 100 graduates through in the last iteration is basically the same format that we're using for the reiteration of Growing Leaders Mark II, I call it in my brain. And as you said, it's basically free for the levy payers who grow vegetables or onions. And we know that some of those businesses grow both, so that's good. And then there's not a fee for service, but there's a small cost for people who are in the supply chain part of the industry who'd like to be part of it. So anybody who provides services to the industry. Now, why do we make sure that we've got service industries in the space? Because it enriches the conversation. And I'm sure you remember that, Anthony, that having some people who weren't just in the growing space actually help people understand the whole of the industry. So the program is 9 days, and it's 9 days that are made up of 3 lots of 3. So the first 3 days in 2026 happen in March, and they're in Melbourne, early March. And all of this can be found on the website that will link you to the application form. The second 3 days sort of butts into Hort Connections in Adelaide in the early June, and the last 3 days are in Canberra to rub shoulders with all of the political decision makers in early September. And those 3 days are made up of skill sessions where you might learn a little bit from me and the facilitation team, growing your networks through a whole heap of industry activities and events that we connect you with. And then also experiencing leadership by doing some work around changing the industry to reflect the needs that the group thinks should be addressed in the industry. So that's sort of it in a snapshot. Most people come out feeling like they've been challenged, that they've had some fun, that they've grown their network. But when I look back on the feedback and the surveys that we've done for growing leaders over the years, the resounding feedback that we get is that each participant built a new support network and a new knowledge network, that through doing the program, they got to know some people who were doing similar things to them or were experimenting in areas that they were interested in. And so there was this new support space that participants were able to slot into. And then a whole heap of knowledge people who could talk to them about their business or the industry organisation or the teams that they're working with. So I love it. And when the hiatus happened, I was miffed, and I'm thrilled that it's back and that we're able to work with the industries again. So that's a little bit of a snapshot. What else do you need to know, Anthony?
Oh, look, I think I love the program, as you're aware, and I would like to hear from you because look, it's easy for me to say the program's great, do it because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did it and it's good. But I feel as somebody who might not be sure about hitting that apply button, and applications close Friday, the 6th of February, close of business. So if you get your applications in by then, would be awesome. But for someone who is unsure about hitting that apply button,
Mm,
this is who, oh, you're on this side. This is who you're going to be dealing with. You're going to be dealing with Jill. And sometimes just seeing a face and hearing a voice can help ease some of those unsure
mm,
feelings. But
mm,
Jill, like, just tell them, like, you've seen a lot of us come and go. You've seen a lot of us, especially us multi-generational growers, come and go. Why should we get out of the shed? Why should
mm,
we get out of the farm? Why should we get on a plane and
mm.
just dedicate a few days every few months? Why should we do it, in your opinion?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to say that the right people are always in the room. So if you think this isn't the space for you, it actually is. Like, we have had people who have been in the industry for a number of decades on it as employees or as children who are part of generational farms who go, oh no, we just do it the way mum and dad did it. And I say this is the space for you because you'll get a chance to think differently, to understand broader ideas. But we've also had people in the program who are very new into this space. So they've just returned to the family farm or they've just finished their Cert 4 somewhere in horticulture or whatever. And, you know, I can remember a couple of years ago, one of the guys did it who was part of a generational family who just finished Cert 4 at his local TAFE. And he thought he knew everything about it. And then he came and did the program and went, oh my gosh, now I actually do know a lot more. So there's that opening of your mind to come and experience a learning environment where you might get to understand what to do when there's a bit of conflict happening in your family, or when the communication breaks down, or where you can't understand why that person's operating like that, and you get a handle on their personality by doing this program. Or you get a sense of, oh, when we're meeting together in our shed, we actually should tweak the meeting process so that we're more effective in the time that we're spending together. So, all of those really fundamental skills about how to work as a leader in your business are readily available to you in this program, and you'll have fun learning about it. And who does that look like? Well, it looks like somebody who is young, who's stepping back into the business, somebody who's spent decades in the business and actually thinks, shit, I should, oh, I swore then, who should, I should learn a little bit more, or somebody who's actually in a business who wants to take the next step in taking on roles and responsibilities in the business. So I think that the program allows for all of that opportunity for learning, whether you're new or a dab hand and you just want to polish things up a bit. And definitely young women and young men. So it's not just about blokes and it's not just about women. Like it's, you know, both genders, any genders. Yeah.
That's fantastic. I mean that's it's really good for us, just anyone who's thinking to apply to hear that, from you. Because yeah, again, like my experience with the program was very fantastic, and I'm an advocate for it. I speak highly, and I was definitely one of the people in the room that thought, I do know everything. Not to sound too much like a ego head, but I did have a bit of ego about me. 2018, how many years ago? Well, almost 10 years ago now. Wow.
Mm,
And just eating a bit of humble pie and
mm,
liking the taste, and then learning a bit more about myself as a person, and actually, coming back with more knowledge about not just leadership in general, but more knowledge about me and how,
mm.
I can best work personally as well as professionally. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for sharing all
That's all
that,
right.
Jill.
That's all
Yeah.
right. Can I
Yes.
also just say, Anthony, and you'll have a participant's perspective. We
Mhm.
actually really look after people in the program.
Yep.
So if you're actually a bit nervous about coming into the program, we know that. We know that for some people, it's actually quite a thing to press the submit button and then to, as you say, get on the plane or get in your car and get to the first residential in Melbourne. We know that. And so we're going to look after you. So if you've got that sense of, oh, I don't know whether I'm the right person in the room, hit the submit button because actually we'll look after you and make sure that it's not traumatic for you, that actually you're learning during the process. And I mean, I think we're really, really skilled in doing that for people.
Yeah, and for the growers out there who are worried about going into a shared space without,
Mm,
giving anything away of the program, I'll give this little spoiler. It's a completely safe space, and what's spoken
yeah.
about within the walls of, the Growing Leaders program stays in the Growing Leaders program. So, when I came into it, I was a bit, I had some people in the room that were direct competitors. I had some people in the room that I was not too comfortable being in a space where we were uh, not forced to share. You're never forced to do anything, but you had that feeling like, well, I'm
Mm,
expected to share. So, but Jill and her team made that first bit of I don't know about this turn into okay, we can
mm,
do this because both of us
mm,
are equally sharing, and everyone else in the room is also in the same position. And that's
mm.
the other thing too. It's not unique to you. You
No.
might be a grower who, we do it this way, blah blah. So is every other grower in the room.
Mm.
And you're all there for the one purpose of doing the program, finding out about yourself, finding about leadership. So I strongly just recommend you trust their team, and have a great time doing it.
Mm. Well, thank you, Anthony.
Thank you. I think we'll leave it there. Thanks very much.
No worries.